There's a rope of blonde hair in my hands. 22 inches long, the color of honey and sunlight. It weighs almost nothing. It weighs everything. It's not mine. Well, it was never mine. That's the thing I didn't understand. Let me show you who I was before I became the monster in my daughter's nightmare. Part 1, The Keeper. I was the mother with the daughter with the hair. You know what I mean? At the grocery store, the playground, everywhere people would stop us. Oh my goodness, that hair. Strangers would reach out to touch it, tell me never to cut it. And God help me, I loved it. Every single night, our ritual, 8:30 p.m. Maya would sit between my knees and I'd brush, 100 strokes. I counted everyone. I kept a chart, dates of trims, growth rate per month, measured with a tape measure on the first of every month. I wasn't caring for her hair. I was curating it. I was the museum curator and she was the exhibit. My own mother never brushed my hair, not once. She'd hack at it with kitchen scissors. Hair is hair, she'd say. It grows back. I promised myself my daughter would have different. My daughter would have better. But I didn't see the weight I was placing on those golden strands. The identity I was building for her that had nothing to do with who she actually was. Because Maya was a girl who climbed trees and caught frogs. A girl who made up songs about dinosaurs and wore rain boots in summer. But when people saw her, they didn't see that Maya. They saw the hair. And slowly, she started to disappear behind it. Part 2, The Cutting. May 14th, a Tuesday. Maya got gum in her hair at school, just a small piece, tangled near the bottom. "It's okay, Mama," she said. "You can fix it, right? You always fix it." You always fix it. I tried peanut butter, ice, olive oil. Nothing worked. The gum was stubborn and I was getting frustrated. "Maybe we should just go to the salon," Maya said quietly. "No, I can handle this." I sat her in the kitchen chair, draped a towel over her shoulders, got my fabric scissors, good scissors, sharp. Just a little trim, sweet pea. She ate apple slices, trusting me completely. I positioned the scissors, and I cut. Snip. That sound echoed in my skull. The chunk of hair fell, 8 inches, not 2, and lay on the white floor like something dead, like evidence. My hands started shaking. "Mama," her voice was tiny. "Mama, what did you do?" Panic whispered, "You can fix this, just even it out." So I kept cutting, frantically. Snip, 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 the apple slice forgotten. My hands trembling, I was trying to fix a watch with a hammer. 10 minutes. That's all it took. 10 minutes to destroy 2 years of growth. 10 minutes to destroy my daughter's trust in me. When I finally showed her the back in the hand mirror, she went completely still. Her hand came up, touching the naked skin of her neck that hadn't seen sunlight in years. The jagged, uneven chunks trying to be a haircut, but just destruction. She looked at me, and I saw the exact moment she realized I wasn't magic. I wasn't the mama who could fix everything. I was just a person who had hurt her. Her voice broke, tears sliding down her cheeks. I look like a broken doll. Not ugly, not weird, broken. And I was the one who broke her. Part 3, The Winter. The next days were a loop of small deaths. Maya wore hoods everywhere. At breakfast, at school, at home. She stopped looking in mirrors, stopped singing. When I reached out to touch her shoulder, she would flinch, just a tiny tensing, but I felt it like an electric shock. She stopped letting me help her with anything. I can do it myself. We stopped talking. The guilt lived in my body like a second skeleton. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. with it crushing my chest. I had nightmares where I kept cutting, and Maya was screaming, and when I looked up, she was saying, "Why did you break me, Mama?" 2 weeks later, I took her to Maria's salon. Maria had been cutting hair for 30 years and had kind eyes. She took one look at Maya, hood up, shoulders hunched, and understood everything. "Well, hello, beautiful girl," Maria said softly. "I hear you had a little hair adventure. Can I see?" Slowly, Maya pulled back her hood. Maria didn't gasp, didn't wince, just smiled. "You know what I see? I see a fresh start. Should we make this into something really cool? Maya's eyes lifted. Can you? Baby, I can make you look like a rock star, but I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Maya looked at me. There was hurt in her eyes, but underneath, a question. Can I trust again? She nodded, climbed into the chair. Maria talked to her about everything except hair. About sea otters and purple, and wanting to be a veterinarian who draws comics. Slowly, Maya started to unfold. When Maria turned the chair around, Maya went still. The pixie cut was textured, edgy. It made her eyes huge, made her look like someone who had adventures. Maya touched her head gently. I look like me, but faster. Faster, Maria laughed. Yeah, like I could run faster, jump higher like I'm aerodynamic. We all laughed, really laughed. But that night, I saw Maya watch a mother and daughter in a store, the little girl with a French braid. Her hand came up to touch her neck. Her face went cloudy. I stood in my bathroom and looked at my own long hair, past my shoulder blades, my one vanity. All I could see was Maya's face when she said, I look like a broken doll. How could I tell her she was beautiful with short hair when mine cascaded down my back every day? A constant reminder of what she'd lost. I stood there for an hour. Tom came in. I need to cut it, I said. What? Why? Because I'm carrying the thing I destroyed. I'm walking around with her grief on my head. And that tells her that long hair was what made her valuable to me. My voice cracked. I need her to know that I'm in this with her. Tom was quiet, then kissed my temple. Okay, if that's what you need to do. Part 4, the matching. 3 days later, I went back to Maria, alone. You want the same cut, she said. Yes. She studied me, nodded, gestured to the chair. She pulled my hair into a ponytail. Last chance to change your mind. I've never been more sure. Snip. The sudden lightness. My head felt like it might float away. 20 minutes later, she turned me around. I didn't recognize myself. The woman in the mirror looked brave enough to climb mountains. Someone who understood what mattered. Someone who looked like her daughter. My neck was cold, exposed, vulnerable. I understood viscerally what Maya had felt. I drove home with my heart pounding. I opened the front door. Maya was building with blocks, humming, which she hadn't done since before. She looked up, and the world stopped. Her eyes went huge. The block slipped from her fingers and clattered to the floor. She stared at me like I was a miracle. Mama, she breathed, your hair. I stepped inside. Surprise. Maya walked toward me, her eyes locked on my head. She stopped right in front of me. Her hand hovered near my hair, not quite touching. You cut it, why? I knelt down, eye to eye with my daughter. Because, baby, I looked in the mirror every day and saw all this hair, and all I could think was that I was carrying the thing I took from you. And I wanted you to know that you didn't lose something. You just changed. And change can be beautiful and brave. I smiled through my tears. If my brave, beautiful, aerodynamic girl can rock short hair, then her mama can too. What do you think? Do we look like a team? Maya just stared, emotions too big for her body. And then she threw herself at me with so much force we nearly toppled over. Her arms wrapped around my neck like vines. Her face pressed into my neck, and her whole body shook with sobs. Mama, now we match. We do, baby. She pulled back to look at me, face wet, eyes shining. Now we're both beautiful. I grabbed her face in both hands. Sweet pea, you were always beautiful. With long hair, short hair, no hair. You were always beautiful because beauty isn't what's on your head. It's who you are inside. You cut your hair for me. I'd cut 1,000 hairs for you, because you matter more than hair. You matter more than anything. I love you, Mama. I love you, my brave girl. We sat there on the floor, holding each other, crying, 2 matching pixie cuts pressed together. And I felt something break open in my chest. The guilt shifted, made room for forgiveness. Hers, and maybe eventually my own. That night at bedtime, Maya took my hand. Mama, Will you still brush my hair? Even though it's short, I miss it. I miss you touching my hair. So we went to the bathroom. She sat on the toilet lid. I stood behind her with the brush. I counted out loud. 1, 2, 3. Her hair was too short for 100 strokes, but I counted anyway. And by stroke 20, she was humming. By stroke 100, she was swaying, peaceful, loved. She turned and wrapped her arms around my waist. That was perfect, Mama. You're perfect, baby. And I meant it. Finally, I meant it about the right thing. This is my ponytail, the one Maria cut off. I keep it not as a memorial, but as a reminder. A reminder that love is not control. Parenting is not perfection. And sometimes the most beautiful thing we can do is stand beside our children in what they've lost and say, "Your battle is my battle." Maya's hair is growing back. Shoulder length now. Last week, she asked Maria to take 2 inches off because it's getting in my way when I climb. She's climbing again. Trees, walls, mountains made of couch cushions. She's back. And when I look at my own short hair, which I'm keeping short, I don't see penance anymore. I see a promise kept. I see a woman who learned that the hardest part of parenting isn't protecting your children from pain. It's kneeling in the wreckage when you're the one who caused it. It's admitting you were wrong. It's being brave enough to change yourself. My mother saw a picture of Maya and me at the beach, both grinning with wet, spiky pixie cuts. "You cut your hair," she said, disapproval in her voice. "It was so beautiful long." "It's beautiful short," I said, and for the first time in my life, I believed it. Sometimes, when Maya has a hard day, we take out this braid. Look at it together. "Do you miss it, Mama?" Sometimes. "Do you miss yours?" Sometimes. And then we look at each other, at our matching cuts, at the life we've built on the other side of the worst thing I ever did. "But I like us better now," she says. "Me too, baby, me too." If you're watching this because you made a mistake with your child, not a haircut, but any mistake that keeps you up at night, I want to tell you something. You can't undo it. That's the hardest truth. But you can kneel in it. You can own it. You can say, "I was wrong," and mean it. And you can show them that their pain matters more than your pride. Love isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, especially when you're the reason they're hurting. That's the weight of parenting. That's the weight of gold. And it's worth carrying. Thank you for listening.